So my name is Ron Clabo. I'm the founder of a company called Gift Oasis. And Gift Oasis is an online marketplace designed to connect people with unique gift items made by small businesses in North Carolina. So we've been at the Midway Business Center quite a while. We first came in October 2007, I believe, and actually started off in the smallest room in the building downstairs, which now actually is a storage closet again. It was a storage closet before we moved in, and it's back to being a storage closet. But it was all the space that we needed at the time. It was perfect for us because it was very inexpensive relative to other options, and it gave us a start so that we could get going on trying to. So Empowerment's had a lot of impact on our business, and really impacted us in a lot of different ways. I think the first and most obvious thing is just having this business incubator here, having a place to have our business. So I have 3 kids at home, and we live in an apartment here in Carrboro. And initially, I started working on this business in the apartment, trying to save money. But the reality is that as soon as the kids would come home from school, suddenly with me working in the living room, I couldn't work on the business anymore. The day stopped. And so having an affordable place to work on the business during the day it probably doubled the amount of work that I could actually get done in a day. And so it made a tremendous impact on the business. And if it wasn't for the incubator being here and Empowerment running this incubator, probably I would have had to rent something way out of town in order to be able to find something affordable. So having the short commute, being able to be right here in the local business community, being around other businesses that are and entrepreneurs working hard trying to create something from nothing, and just the support of the staff and the encouragement of the staff has been really wonderful. So the business has changed a lot since we first arrived here at the Midway Business Center. And really, when I first came to the business center, the business was really an idea. It was, a hope. It was something that might be. But there wasn't really anything substantial about it at all. I mean, we did have a part of a business plan. That was really about it. And so in the time that we've been here, we now have just about completed a pretty extensive website that has full shopping capabilities, and not just shopping capabilities to support one business, but ultimately, hopefully, lots of small businesses. We have one client that licenses our software, and that's how we pay the bills at the moment. But our hope long-term is to be able to support lots and lots of North Carolina businesses selling products that they make that are unique and making it easy for the consumer to find them. And we're a long way on our journey now to doing that. And so there's been a lot of change in our business since we started. In other ways, we're still yet at the beginning in the sense that our e-commerce marketplace isn't fully live yet. We hope that it will be this next year, early in the year. And so we still have a lot to learn and a lot to get accomplished. But what's been accomplished so far actually is really wonderful. If Empowerment wasn't here to help us get started, being an entrepreneur, I'd like to believe that, I would find some way to make it happen anyway. And hopefully that would have been true. But you know what, the reality is you never know whether you'd be able to make it or not. If any one of the supports that helped you get there weren't there. As an entrepreneur, we try to always find some way to move ahead and to create something from nothing, but it's very hard to do. And so having Empowerment has made a huge difference. It's meant that, as I mentioned, it's given an affordable place for creating this business. And I don't know what we would be like without Empowerment, but I'm sure the process would not have been as easy. Not that it's easy anyway, it's hard. But Empowerment has made the process much easier than it would have otherwise been. And I think the encouragement of being able to be around other entrepreneurs that are trying to create businesses, that alone is helpful, talking to people in the hallway and just seeing them work hard on their business too. That's all facilitated by Empowerment, what they're doing here. If you try to do this in isolation, off all by yourself, it just becomes that much harder because you need to see that other people are, also trying to do this impossible feat if you're going to try to do it. And Empowerment's having the incubator, I think it'd be hard to overstate the amount of impact that they really have on each of the businesses because of that. Yeah. So what would I like to say to empowerment and sponsors and donors? I guess first and foremost, it would be a big thank you. Even Dolores, from time to time when I see her, I give her a big hug, and I guess maybe I can't do that physically for each of the donors and necessarily everyone that helps out here, but in spirit, that's really it. It's a big hug because I can't promise that Gift Oasis is going to be successful, and that's something that I know as an entrepreneur. That's something my family knows with the sacrifices they've made to allow me to go on this journey. There are no guarantees in doing this, but what I can promise is that that I'll work really hard to try to create something that improves the community in some way, in my small way, helping some other small businesses. And the work that Empowerment does, the work that the volunteers do, the work that the donors do, are all a part of that. We live in a time right now when jobs are scarce and it's hard to find a job. In fact, my wife is currently looking for a job, and we know firsthand how hard it is. Entrepreneurs are one group of people that go out and work to create jobs, and it's not an easy process. And when you help out Empowerment, when you help out the incubator, you are helping others like myself to try to create jobs in the local community, jobs that employ people, jobs that ultimately will give back in other ways. And so thank you for doing that.
All right.